Hi, Hope Chapel. My name's Debra Stolp, and this is your Sip Tip of the Day. When I was a kid, I used to get those books that had lots of different puzzles in them, and I always really liked the mazes. And there are lots of different types of mazes. The largest maze in the United States, or in the world, I think, is actually in Hawaii, and it's a Dodole pineapple plant. And I read that it has over 3 acres and 2.5 miles of different paths. And I thought that one would be a cool maze to go through sometime. I found out there are two different types of mazes. The regular maze, and that means that it has more than one route to the center, or there's a labyrinth, which means there is only one way to do it. Now, I don't know whether this one is a maze or a labyrinth, but if you've ever been in IKEA, you know that it's probably a labyrinth, because try to find your way out. There are no windows, and when you are ready to leave, you really have to follow all these signs to the exit, or you will be walking around in circle for weeks. And after COVID, when they open up things again, they'll probably find that they've left a few people and they're wandering around. But there are some fun mazes, like the ones at Halloween, the corn mazes that you take your kids to. Those are good ones, and they're fun to do. But what I found out is there is a way to solve the problem if you get lost in a maze. And here's what it says. There is a simple method for finding your way through a maze or a labyrinth. Touch the wall or the hedge with the hand nearest it, left or right. Keep that same hand touching the wall and keep walking. Now this part's good. This might take you on a horribly long route, but it'll eventually get you out. And I thought that mazes are such a good metaphor for our lives, because each one of us has our own puzzle of our life that's strictly unique to us, with its different twists and turns. And how do we navigate through the maze of our life? Well, we've been given a set of instructions on how to get through life when we're lost too. And it's actually just called walking in the Spirit. And simply what that means is just holding God's hand as you walk through life. And if you've ever walked with your kids when they were younger, say through Howarth Park or something like that, just imagine yourselves, you're taking a walk, and I'm sure this has happened to you, where things are going good and they're holding on to your hand, and then all of a sudden, for no reason at all, they let go of your hand and they split. And they take off and they're running and happy and on their own route, and they are around the corner and out of sight before you know it. And they keep going until they look around and they find out they're all alone. They don't know where they are. They don't know where to go, and they're scared stiff. And this is very much what our spiritual walk is like way too often. We're walking along with God. Things are good. We're holding on to his hand. And then for no reason at all, except probably we think we know the route up ahead, we let go of his hand, and before you know it, we're around the corner, out of sight. And usually we don't stop until we realize that we're in a dead end and we don't know what the next step is or where to go. And usually at that point, for us, what we'll find is that we're filled with fear or anxiety or anger that we let the situation happen, whatever. But what I would say to you is, like, the question is, what do we do at that point? And I'd say let your emotions work for you and not against you. Let them be red flags that you have let go of the Lord's hand at some point and gone off on your own. So what do you do at that point? Take a lesson from your kids, and that is do what they do. They stand still when they're lost. They stand still and they yell out your name. And then what's the next thing they do? They listen. They listen because they know that the Father is going to be calling them. They know that you are going to be yelling their name. And so they're listening, and when they hear it, they start retracing their steps back. So do the same things your kids do. When you get into a dead end, call out your father's name. Listen for his voice. Retrace your steps. Hold his hand again, and let him navigate you through your life. He knows the route.